Alrighty, attention in the pits. All racers, report to the staging lanes. The show's about to start.
What it is.
Good afternoon.
What up,
or
everybody?
Evening, however you want to say it.
Good evening.
We got Jason back with us.
Yep.
You gonna hang out again in the cold garage? It's okay.
It's supposed to be warm.
Yeah, well, it is warm considering. I mean, it's been what, 20, 30 degrees?
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's 54 in here right now. This is your natural element.
Absolutely. I'm comfortable. I'm about ready to take my flannel off. I like it cold. So anyhow, guys, welcome back. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the supercharger deal that we're doing, the LSA supercharger.
And what's that called again?
An LSA supercharger.
LS Killer.
LS Killer, yeah. So you know what? I don't want to screw up and call this the wrong thing.
Here we go.
I need to see what the abbreviation, what LSA stands for here. I want to make sure.
Lobe separation.
What is LSA supercharger?
Assets.
Right? Is that all you can come up with?
That's all that came to mind. That's clean.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. It doesn't, you know what? What is the definition of that? It doesn't tell me. It just says it's an LSA supercharger. Yeah, well, I know that already. Now, let me try this again.
Do you any of our watchers know?
What do the letters LSA mean for the LS supercharger?
Luxury Sport Association.
You might not be far off on that because I think it is luxury sport architecture. Yeah, look at that. You were pretty close. That's awesome. So anyhow, luxury sport architecture.
I didn't.
How the hell did they come up with that for a supercharger?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
I gave you a tongue twister for that one.
Man, oh man, that is not what I would have thought LSA stood for.
Hey, it was pretty close.
Yep. Well, I think LS stands for luxury sport. GM, that's what their designation is.
Which makes no sense that they call their high performance block an LS block.
I know.
It's not nothing.
And it ain't got nothing to do with luxury. Well, I guess if you have a Cadillac,
Yeah, I
they
was
do
just about to say same thing.
Cadillacs and SUVs, they got LS engines in them. So, but anyhow, them superchargers are very cool because they're compact. They sit low, and they're intercooled. They have an intercooler on them so that you can run, these LS engines, you know, even though they're aluminum or have aluminum heads, they're running 11-to-1 compression.
Yeah.
And on pump gas.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you got to run high test, you know, like a 93 octane.
Well, I mean, if you look at a factory, like my truck is high compression.
Mm-hmm. My Suburban is too. I think it's right around 10.5 or 11-to-1.
Yeah.
With a 5.3 in it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's what my motor makes.
yeah.
And I have to run premium.
Yeah, well, you got an iron head, so that makes all the difference.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, well, iron holds heat. You know that. Aluminum dissipates heat, so it can get away with less octane.
Don't get him too excited. He's going to go buy a new engine.
Oh, no.
Well, he's already beating me up on a set of heads there.
Yeah. And I will not stop.
He's going to end up with a set anyway. He already knows it.
DJ said he got his transmission done for his Cobalt.
Nice. That's really good.
Yep.
The DJ's getting close. You know what? He's going to beat you. He said he was going to, and I think he's going to.
Well,
You were slacking.
He needs to come over and give me money.
Well, if he's going to give you money, I want money too. And Jason, I'm sure does too.
Well, there's a line.
Oh, yeah. See how you are?
Take a ticket.
I like to share, but this time I DJ's all mine.
Poor DJ. And if DJ had it, he'd give it to you in a minute.
Oh, I know.
But anyways.
Oh, he said when his gauge pod's made.
What did he say?
Yeah,
I give you some money when my gauge pod's made.
Yeah, see there? But anyways, LSA superchargers are compact, so they fit under a factory hood. And they're especially compact for late model cars because, like the Corvettes and the Camaros, they had to slope the nose down and reduce the aero drag on them so they're more fuel efficient and to meet the CAFE specs or whatever that bullshit is for the EPA. Anyway, because of that, the supercharger's low profile. So we are going to adapt that new technology to old technology, meaning the old Pontiac engines. Now, some of you guys might get upset with me, but this is where I'm going with this. All right, guys. So bear with me. Help me. The only reason that it's
And
that
that
I'm
is
doing this.
Don Johnston at SBC Global.
The reason I'm doing this is because I got to reach a broader market. So instead of calling these engines that we're building now, which are dinosaurs, we got to bring them into the new era, new technology, 20th century. We are going to start calling these things LS killers, okay? It's going to be a DCI Motorsports LS killer, and nobody needs to know that it's a Pontiac engine. You Pontiac guys are all going to know, but the guys that are building a C10 Chevy pickup truck or a newer Camaro or whatever, once I get my new engine block made so that it can adapt to the late model transmissions, they'll be able to buy one of these, bolt it in their late model car, and make more power and have more strength than the LS block or LS platform. And it's going to open up the market, hopefully.
What about the because the guy that's doing it right now, he's doing with the 350 block, right? He's trying to
Well,
anyway.
the guy that I'm working with, you're talking about,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Innovator or Innovate Engineering.
Okay.
Yeah. John is his name. He's what we want to do is we want to try to use the Pontiac factory 350 block with my Ram Air 5 head, which is going to require a little bit of chamfer on the exhaust side for the exhaust valve. But the reason that is because 350 blocks are everywhere. For years and years and years, I scrapped them because nobody wanted them. You couldn't even give them away. And now I'm wishing I had all those back because if this works out, you know what? The blocks are plentiful. And 350 block, I don't know what we're going to be able to bore it to yet, but we're going to try. I'm going to sonic a couple of them and see what our wall thickness is. But if we can bore it 125 over, that'll give it a 4-inch bore, which is the same as a 301 Pontiac, ironically. And with the 3 3/4 inch stroke, what is that? So 125 over, for every 30, you gain 6 cubic inches. So 30 is going to go in that 4 times. So 4 times 6 is 24. So 374 cubic inches. Hey, well, what a coinkydink. That's exactly what an LS engine is.
Is it?
I think it's 374 or 372. They got a 364. Then there's one a little bit. What's the 6 liter? That's the one that's.
The 6 liter is.
Is it 364? Then they got the 6.2 liter, and I think that's a 370.
I thought the 6 liter was a 380.
Oh boy, here we go. I gotta get Google out again.
386, I think.
What cubic inch is a 6.2 liter?
6.2 liters is equivalent to 378.347.
Oh, 378.
378. Yeah, so we're gonna be
Okay.
real close to what a 6.2
Oh yeah, 'cause
liter
I
is.
was thinking 6.6.
Yeah, 6.6 is a 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so you know what? That would be really
377 according to Philip the Third's wife.
He's incognito again tonight.
Yeah, keep going in and out.
That guy's got more aliases than I don't know what.
He just said, what did he say? He said, did you get my text about a Corvette? Did I hear that? It's up a little bit.
What is it? I didn't see.
He,
Speaking of Corvettes,
yeah.
did you get his text?
I don't know. Corvette? I got a couple of weird emails from you. I don't even know what they mean. One of them one says
It was
something
spam.
about a brain, and then something about I don't remember even what it was now. I get so many emails and stuff. I just go through them real fast because I don't have a lot of time to look through them. But yeah, Something about a brain and something else. I don't remember what. Maybe he'll remember.
Nothing about
he
a
could,
Corvette that he recalls.
No, I don't remember nothing about a Corvette. I do remember Troy Wotring sent me a thing about a Corvette. He sent me like a 52 Pro Mod Corvette.
Ooh.
That's a little out of my league right now. I'm not into that. I like race cars and all, but man, I want something I can drive on the street. So anyway, back to the superchargers. The LSA platform is awesome because we can fit it underneath the factory hood of a lot of cars. And the really cool part is that John and I are going to work on is we're going to make a top that's a shaker top for the Trans Am. So we can actually still have our shaker hood too. So that's going to be really cool.
Now, will that suck air through?
Well, the air comes through the throttle body on the front of it.
Correct.
See that picture of the engine?
Could you make a horn?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure somebody could get creative and do something there, but
Because basically you're just going to have a piece of fiberglass sitting on top of supercharger.
yeah, it's just going to be the shaker hood. You know, the hood will still shake, or the shaker will still shake.
Gotcha.
Because it's going to be bolted to the engine, and so that'll be kind of cool. And so if we can pull this off, which I'm pretty sure we can. You guys seen the picture that I shared today with the for the podcast. Those are the prototype runners. Those are FDM printed like my son did for the independent runner intake he's working on. And he's got it all mocked up, and he said everything lines up perfectly. He's making a belt drive setup for this thing and everything. And I don't know how all this is going to go down, but I'm going to be, I think, the sole distributor for these things. And we're doing this for my Ram Air 5 heads, and we're doing it for the Ram Air 3 and Ram Air 4, or traditional Pontiac head. So we're going to have them available for both style of head.
The supercharger, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not the one I made.
Not the one what?
Not the intake that I made. That's for
right.
Weber.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of your deal. That's your gig. So, but yeah, so that's where we're going with this. And so far, I think with a 455, and I don't know if John's on tonight. I told him I was going to be talking about this tonight, so maybe he's on, maybe he's not. But if he is, he can maybe tell me if I'm right or wrong. But I do believe on a 455 with a iron head, what might have been an Edelbrock head. I take that back. May have been an Edelbrock head. On pump gas with the LSA supercharger made right around 1,000 horsepower. So we're thinking with the Ram Air 5 head, because of the increased port size and airflow or CFM that the head flows, it's going to be somewhere around 12 or maybe even 1,300 horsepower.
So now you're talking
with
Hellcat.
pump gas, yeah.
Hellcat killer.
Yeah, this thing's going to be a beast. It's going to be fun.
And that's with a 350, or no, you said 455.
No,
Okay.
well, that's what it made with the 455, but his dyno simulators, which predicted the 455 within about 10 or 20 horsepower, says the 350, actually we did 366, because we didn't know where we were going to land cubic inch-wise, is capable of around 1,200 horsepower.
Oh.
Yeah, with the Ram Air 5.
So less cubic inch and same horsepower.
Yeah, more horsepower.
That's
Interesting.
What all the new guys want.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's Mama number 2 for me. Mama-in-law, Peggy Weimiller. She just had knee surgery. So hopefully
yeah.
she's
She's
doing
on her
good.
phone.
Yep.
They
She
must
must
not
be
have
out, she's out of surgery then, huh? She had that today, didn't she?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
And
I thought she'd be down at Uncle Tito's having a margarita.
not yet. Not yet. She still owes me jumping jacks.
Well, she gets some margaritas in her. I guarantee you she'll be doing it.
And then Philip III said he got his 3.8 engine done.
Oh, so it wasn't spun rod bearing like you thought, huh? That's good. What happened was his oil sending unit blew out. The brand new one that he got from China, it blew out on him, and he was lucky to make it back home.
Ooh.
And pumped all the oil out of the engine. It was ticking and rattling and banging, and and I thought he.
Hey, you know
blew it
what
up.
though? If any motor's going to last that, it's the 3.8.
Them things are workhorses.
Yep,
They
they're
are,
like
so-
cockroaches. You can't kill them.
And they are like cockroaches because there are millions of them.
That too.
There's millions of those things.
Well, she had more than just dinner. She had some drinks.
Oh, she did?
Just had dinner. She's doing great.
Good
Or
for
no,
her.
she's still in the hospital. So
She's I
no
think
drinks
so.
for her.
You never
Sneaker
know. They
woman.
might be able to get one in there. Yeah, they got her on pain meds. She doesn't need nothing to drink right now.
Hell no.
She's in happy land anyway. So, but yeah, so that's the goal. We're gonna hopefully, and John is he's a work horse. That guy is he's on this. I sent him the heads for a mock-up. I don't know, probably about 4 weeks ago, and he's already got the runners already designed, all mocked up. And he's already working on getting the tooling done for the runners so we can start making these.
And what's really nice about those runners too, I've seen a picture of them, as I'm sure other people have as well. Those are very easily machinable. So you can have billet runners.
Well, we could, but there's really no need to.
No, but I mean, if I'm going to put something that pretty on top of my motor,
Well, if you're going after pretty and want to do a show car, yeah, you could do
oh
that.
no, screw show car. I just want it to look pretty. And then whenever everyone opens, I open the hood and everyone looks and they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, that's my big dick.
Well, not me. I want them whenever I'm leaving the cruise in and get it in high gear and hammer the throttle and smoke the tires at 50 mile an hour. That's what I like.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to do afterward.
Right.
And Phil Third said when it's done, it is done as in trash, rod knocking kind of done.
Oh, that kind of done. Oh.
Ouch.
That's more like what I thought
Phil
happened.
Third knows how to kill cockroaches.
Sounds like you got to open up the pocketbook.
That's you know what? That sounds like a good name for his race car when he gets it all done. He wants to build a Raymer 5 engine, and it could be called the Cockroach Killer.
Yep. Yep.
And you just make it just small, though. When you got to go up on it, like you looking for the cockroach. Like, what's that thing? Cockroach?
And he can have antennas on the hood.
Yeah.
Little cut.
Like the eyelashes, you just have the antennas go over top of the
Like
headlight.
those Volkswagens that got the eyelashes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. There you go, Philip. And wear your pink shirt.
He might have a pink DCI shirt.
I was gonna
don't
say,
remember if
maybe
he's got one or not.
No, he has a black one.
Oh, he's got a black one. Okay. Yeah, he does have a black one. I sent him a black one. I sent him two, I thought, but maybe I didn't. I don't remember.
He said they don't make a machine I can't break.
Well, you stay over there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, then I don't want to sell you a Raymer 5. Those things are prone to break anyway.
But yeah, and you know what? Let's do a call out to everyone that is watching tonight.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We got Tim Corsiak, Eric Chambers, NHRA Bandit, John Dornbush, Jeff Downing, Mark Timmer, Todd S., Holdner's Garage, or Holder's Garage. I keep saying Holdner's. It's Holder's Garage. I'm sorry. And Mike Polson.
You missed DJ.
No, well, we already
And you missed Philip the Third.
no, we already acknowledged them.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing a call out of people
There's
we
a
haven't
couple,
acknowledged
Okay.
already. Yeah.
Don't miss anybody.
Dave Smith,
Yeah.
GTO George. I love that name, by the way.
I see a couple that were still
Don't be
we're still
pumping
missing.
him up. You know what? His head's already too damn big. You got to be
I
able to get in
love
that
it, George.
GTO this summer.
I love it.
We got to get the sound effects going.
Yeah, he's got him on there.
Let's see. Johnston CNC Designs, aka my wife.
Yeah,
Michael Mithen.
Michael.
Yep. Yep, that's it. So good evening, everyone.
George gives a thumbs up.
Yep.
It's probably his wife, Kathy. She's a sweetheart. But yeah, so that's where we're going with the new program here. Oh, got Randy French on there now,
Yep,
too.
Randy French just asked a question about the LS Killer. How reliable, and not only reliable, but what's the longevity of the supercharger, the motor and everything? Can I go 15 years and this just be a startup and go deal? Or is this going to be something that after every winter I'm going to refresh?
Well, if you leave it sit in the garage, you could probably go for a lifetime.
perfect.
Yeah. So if you drive it once a week, probably could go, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years. If you drive it every day, depends how many miles you put on it. Maybe, you could put, I don't know what the new ones hold up to. Honestly, do you?
No, I know they warranty them for 100,000 miles,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's how.
No, they don't warranty them for 100,000. They warranty them for 38 or 36. They have some stuff bumper to bumper that's like
I thought the
100,000.
supercharger was part of that.
I don't think so. I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
Depends on if it goes into sport mode.
Yeah, and you know how them warranties are.
Wow.
Have that tech plug that wire in. And well, let's turn it in sport mode, and he did about 120.
Yeah. Well, I know that GM got in a lot of trouble because they were warrantying the Corvettes with the superchargers when they first come out, and then they were breaking like crazy, and it almost bankrupted them. But I don't think that they offer more than like a 36,000 mile warranty on them. It's like a 30-year, 36,000 on the engine and transmission, and then, which is still pretty freaking amazing when you think about it. You got an engine that's making from the factory 700 horsepower, and they're going to warranty that thing for 36,000 miles. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'll sell a warranty too. So if the engine's 40 grand, it's going to cost you $80,000 if you want the warranty. That way, if I got to replace it, I'm covered.
Can't really find anything.
Yeah, I don't think they warranted him for 100,000.
I'm surprised Helmet says hello. Let's make an oil pump that is 120 volt and pump oil when in storage. There you go. That way it's always lubricated.
Okay, Phil, you can work on that. Or I mean Jeannie. He's a genie.
I was going to say, Jeannie's a lot nicer. She doesn't, talk a lot of smack.
Yeah, so far she's been pretty nice. We'll
That
see.
Philip the third guy, he busts our balls too much.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Asking me if I got a brain. I don't know if I got a brain. If I don't have a brain, how would I know if I got a brain?
Philip the third, she takes all my credit.
It's funny. Yep.
But so let's get back to the reliability on these. Do you think that not a weekend warrior, but say that you drive it twice during the week and then every weekend for the summer? So 6 months?
Are you going to redline it every time you take it out?
Yes.
Okay. And are you going to always run premium fuel and the highest grade oil in them?
If my pocket allows it.
Okay, so probably not. So let's.
Shell station.
So I'm saying that probably realistically, you know what? Because a supercharger, I don't know if it's self-contained. I think it is. So it's got its own oil. So you're gonna have to change your oil.
Well, it depends on what seals. I don't know what seals they have on it.
Yeah, I think they're self-contained. So you got to change your oil.
Because like they use like Durlin or some kind of self-lubricating seal now.
Well, what I'm getting at though is it still has oil in it though. You have to have oil for the bearings or it'll burn up.
Does it?
Like a turbocharger uses engine oil. It's got an oil line to it. Where a supercharger, I think it's got its own oil crank.
And maybe it does on the 8. You have to take the casings off.
Well, it's probably got a plug in it and a fill plug. I don't honestly know. I'll have to look into that.
Well, because the reason why I ask is because that's a good question from Randy as well. Is you're adding the supercharger now. It's not like a turbo where turbo has really no consumable parts. As long as everything's clean and everything's legit and your bearings last for a long time if you have a good turbocharger.
Well, turbochargers, they're a little bit different animal because of the heat from the exhaust.
Well, yeah.
You have to have a cool down period with those. A lot of your diesels and stuff, they got a delay on them. So when you shut the ignition off, the engine will still run for maybe another 3 or 4 minutes to cool the turbo down. It circulates oil through it to cool it down. Whereas supercharger, as soon as you shut it off, it's done.
It's done.
It's not gonna keep running. And not that it would probably be of any benefit to it anyway, because you're not circulating the engine oil through it to cool it off.
Right.
So, but the supercharger doesn't run as hot as a turbocharger.
No.
So you don't have the abuse that you see from the exhaust heat. So, you know, it's like anything. You know what I mean? If you use a hammer wrong, it's going to break.
Well, let's ask this question. And I think this would answer it better. So the supercharger that you guys are using is a Edelbrock.
Yeah.
So it's a Edelbrock aftermarket supercharger. So I would assume Edelbrock's a pretty big company that they would have replacement parts for one. And two, these probably have a 50,000 mile wear down.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Maybe John Dornbush, he likes doing all that research. Maybe he can look on there and see. I don't know. But but it's like anything. You know what I mean? It's like I tell people with my engines when I build an engine for them, I don't have a warranty on my engines. And I tell you that up front. Even before you give me any money, I tell you up front, there's no warranty on my engine. Because I know what's going to happen. You guys are going to go out and you're going to beat the hell out of them. And that's okay, because that's what I do. But I can't warranty you abusing the product. So, but if there's something wrong with what I did, let's say that I didn't get the bearing clearances right, or I forgot to torque a bolt, which, you know, that's obviously my fault, then I will take care of it. But if it's something from abuse, no, I don't. I had a customer of mine, I won't mention any names, but I had a customer of mine that I found out from a friend of his was abusing my 455 I built for him in I think it was a 77 Trans Am. Anyhow, he brings this thing to me, and he's all pissed off because it blew up, and he's blaming me for it. So we tear it apart while he's there, and what had happened was, and back then, this was before we had good forged connecting rods, we had a set of cast rods, which are actually pretty damn strong for a Pontiac, but we'll go into that another time. Anyhow, it pulled the connecting rod apart. It literally tore it apart in the center of the connecting rod, and the big end was still bolted to the crankshaft, and I unbolted it, and the bearing looked brand new in the thing. I found out later that he was getting drunk, and at the titty bar, he's out there doing big old long John Force burnouts in the parking lot to show off.
That's
everybody.
an American right there.
And that's when he blew it up. Well, when you're doing that, you're going to expect things to happen like that.
You know,
Especially
can you
when
go
you're
hit the
showing
button,
off for
Jason,
girls. Huh?
the camera went off.
Oh. So yeah, that's you know, I can't pay for your dumbass.
We're just having fun.
Yeah, well, I have fun too, but I accept my own responsibility for breaking it.
Yeah, but that ain't fun.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not good on your pocketbook. But yeah, I don't know what the warranty is on the superchargers from Edelbrock. What's it say? That doesn't even tell you. They're just talking about general information. They don't even give you a warranty on that thing.
Excellent. You even explaining it.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Supercharger warranty. What's that?
3
say?
years,
36,000.
36,000.
Yeah, so that's about right. What I was thinking.
Now, let me ask this though. So when you put the motor together,
No, I ain't gonna do it for free.
well, you will for me. When you put the motor together, the warranty, does that start then whenever you put that supercharger on that motor? So say that you have the supercharger sitting on a shelf.
As soon as you buy it is whenever you get it. That's
So are you guys buying these and then putting them on right
Yes.
away?
Yep.
Or are you going to have a stock of these?
we're gonna have stock, but they got a warranty card in it, and you got to mail that warranty card in as soon as you receive it.
Oh, so you give that to the customer and he mails it in, and then
Right.
that's when the warranty starts.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, if the supercharger breaks, you don't call DCI, you call Edelbrock, and then they're going to take care of the warranty on
Bill Fitzhugh.
that. Where do you see that?
Right here.
GM 3800.
Supercharger had its own
Okay.
oil.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yep. That's what I figured. I thought it'd be self-contained. So, and it's probably got a synthetic oil in it, not a mineral base, so it's probably going to last.
A long time. Because, I mean, if you think about it, your rear end, it lasts, what, 70,000 miles?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking factory cars. I'm not talking like a high-performance application or anything like that.
And that's a little different only because with a supercharger, you got a little bit more dynamics going on in the rear end. So because you got the rotors in there generating pressure and I don't know what kind, if there's going to be any kind of back pressure from the intake charge or anything like that, contaminating it or whatever.
Does the supercharger have a blow off?
Do they what?
Have a blow off?
Not these superchargers.
Because
they got a valve inside that whenever you let off the throttle, it opens up so that it doesn't build pressure and
okay.
Yeah. So, but it's not like a.
Because I just now thought of. I'm like, I've never seen one on a supercharger like a Whipple style.
Yeah, no, there's not a burst plate you're talking about.
What?
Like the
even a burst plate, I had never seen.
Yeah, the burst plates are usually part of the intake manifold, but no, this one does. They're not generating that kind of boost. This supercharger is probably capable of maybe 12 to 16 psi.
Slips on the belt, doesn't need one. GTO George says.
What's that now?
GTO George says slips on the belt, doesn't need one. Doesn't need a blow off.
Huh.
So, and he would know. He has a big blower on his.
Oh yeah.
I love his. I mean, every time I walk by his car, I'm like, man, that's a nice car.
John Dornbush says Whipple superchargers have 100,000 mile front gearbox oil. Oh, advertise 100,000 mile gear oil change. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Usually when a blower, when you see them blowers pop off or blow up,
yeah,
that's because it goes lean. An
right.
intake valve hung open, or a valve spring broke, or you got some kind of lean condition, ran out of fuel or something, and then you get an explosion inside that big blower case. And what happens when you try to contain an explosion? It comes apart.
Yep.
I think we lost our camera again.
No, this is
when we lost it.
this is yeah.
Oh, so we're on delay yet.
Yeah.
I got
Just a
you.
second.
Okay. I got it. I'm a little behind. I think Philip Third's right. I need a brain.
If I only had a brain.
DIY Fab Shop says, sorry, joined late. Has a price range for top end heads intake supercharger been mentioned?
Not yet. We don't really have that set up yet. So once I do, I will definitely. Tonight's just a teaser for you guys. I want to get you guys interested because we're getting really close to getting the intake runners done. And then it's a matter of taking orders for these things. And as you guys seen, if you follow my Facebook channel, I just got a batch of heads finally. Took me almost 2 years to get them, simply because of what's going on in our economy and the world right now. But I do have cylinder heads back in stock again finally. And but I think most of them are already sold, so that's not good because if I start selling these LSA engines, I'm going to have to. I got to get on the phone and get some more heads ordered up. But
Well, you better get on the phone and get some more heads ordered up.
the problem is I'm bleeding out my butt money.
Well, put some salve on it, man up, and buy some more heads.
Oh, good God Almighty!
GTO George said he had a B&M, and when it backfired, it slipped on the belt. And John Dornbush says screw-type compressors compress the air charge internally instead of the manifold, so they don't need a pop-off valve like the old Jimmy blowers.
Yeah, that's what that valve in the top of the plenum is probably for. Then.
And then Old School Twist is here with us. How's your dad doing? Hopefully the surgery and everything went well. And then Joe's Trucking Adventure is checking in. And GTO George said that's on a rib belt, so that's really impressive. You got the ribs holding that belt, and it still slipped.
Well, no, the rib belt is the ones that will slip. They're like a fan belt.
Oh,
You're
okay.
thinking of the cog belt.
Oh, okay.
Those actually have teeth on the pulley and
Yeah.
in the belt. And if that one slips, woo, you're ripping teeth off the belt. I think.
Yeah. But yeah, so hopefully Old School Twist's dad is doing well.
Yep.
What else?
BNR showed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say there's
Brian from
Yep.
BNR.
Now, surgery went great. They got everything, got home last night and healing 3 times faster than they thought he would. Perfect.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
Wolverine for you.
Yeah, boy. That is awesome.
Good. I'm glad. So anyways, about the Supercharger LS Killer combo. So,
So recap that again real quick. Tell everybody that why we're doing an LS Killer instead of a Pontiac.
well, I don't think you ever actually really went into it other than the fact that it's going to be more reliable or stronger block, more horsepower.
Yep.
And
And with my new engine blocks,
it's
we're
going to be a new engine block, but it's going to be more of a turnkey, high horsepower, almost like a Dodge Charger Hellcat setup.
So basically, what's happened is DCI Motorsports is modernizing a platform that's how old? 55, 25? It's 50, 70 years old. Okay, so we're modernizing a 70-year-old platform and bringing it into the 20th century. Had somebody seen your bottle?
Yeah.
Jamie.
Wife.
My wife. She's not an alcoholic.
Excuse me.
I might have to have me a little sippy sip
Go
of
for
that.
it.
Just a little sip. I'm not gonna. I got to drive home. So, you want some, Jason?
I'll take a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son's buying.
That's right.
That's what I heard.
And that's the good shit right there.
Yeah,
It's actually pretty smooth.
is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Uh-huh. What if she said
I already had a full cup.
I'm not doing
it's
a
going
whole
to be
cup.
gone before you get home?
I'm doing me a little shot.
Oh, it won't be gone when she gets home. Trust me on that one. Or I won't be at
Oh,
work.
she's not.
I
Oh, she's
won't
over
be-
at her mom's place. Oh.
Yeah, I won't be at work tomorrow.
Yeah, it's all right. It won't matter.
Nope,
They
they
won't
won't.
miss you, right? Tell McGloon to punch you in.
There you go. Right? Yeah. So basically, this motor, engine, not motor, this engine is going to be a almost like an LS motor, but better.
Yes. Well, let's draw the similarities. All right. So the Pontiac engine has a 4.620 bore spacing. The LS engines have a 4.42, I believe it is, or 4.400. One of the others. It's right around that. So
400,
it's
I
actually
think,
a
yeah.
little bit shorter bore space than the Pontiac. So we can get a bigger bore.
Yep. Which already stroked now.
Our crankshafts are already got the long stroke in them. Good point. And what was I just thinking about? The engine blocks are actually a little bit stouter than the LS block.
And that to me, not to interrupt you again, but that to me is crazy because they have that cradle.
Well, they have the skirted block.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got a skirted block. Now, that is okay for keeping the main caps from walking around, all right? But Pontiac don't have that problem,
Because they got the dowel pins.
and they have half-inch bolts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, with these late model blocks, they've all got, 7/16ths, or some of them even have smaller. They're in millimeters. I don't know what the metric version is of it, but
Probably 11 millimeter or 12 millimeter stud.
I think it's 12 millimeter.
Yep.
Yeah. So, the bolts are more robust. They're not torque to yield bolts like the LS engines are. Our bolts actually get torqued to a value instead of this and this and this and then hold your butt just straight and hold your tongue out while you're cranking hard and
Yeah. Go to 80 foot-pounds, and then after you get to that, get your other wrench back out and go
and then go get your
20
dial
degrees.
indicator. Yeah. What the hell kind of crap is that? But
Yeah.
anyhow, we actually have real bolts in the engines that hold everything together. And then, so we got dowel pins in our mains, so we don't need a skirted block, although I'm going to come up with a version of that. It's not going to be regular production, because then what ends up happening is the oil pan's not going to fit most chassis. So we're going to keep the traditional Pontiac block bottom end.
Well, you could honestly, because the Pontiac block comes flat and then the cap goes up into it.
But the pan bevels in as soon as it comes off. Look at your pan; it comes in. So you.
Well, that's why God made hammers.
And torches. You know, they got that fire wrench they call it.
Eric Chambers asked, "Does GM make an LSA supercharger or an aftermarket? Is it just aftermarket?" And GM does make an LS,
Yeah, all the new cars that have superchargers, that's an LS.
the V8 style. Yeah. Yep.
The Hellcats, the Ford
Which-
Mustangs, all those.
I just seen a guy adapt the Hellcat supercharger to is
Yeah, I
either a
seen
Chevy
that
or a
too.
Pontiac.
Yeah, it was a Chevy.
think it
I
was a
think.
Yeah.
I think it was an LS engine because their superchargers are actually bigger than GM's.
Ah.
I think they got a 3-liter already, and GM's only go up to like a 2.6 or something. I
Gotcha.
don't remember what it is. So yeah, the cubic inches of the blower adds to the cubic inches of the engine, so it makes the engine feel like if it's a 350 cubic inch motor and you got a what is a 3-liter? I don't even know what that is in cubic inches. So it's half of a 6-liter, which is 364. So 100
I was going to say 284.
no, 150 or 364, 150 and 22 or 32.
132.
150
three
and
cylinder,
30.
three.
So 184 cubic
Jesus.
inches is what it's added to the
182.
cube.
I need
Yeah.
more Jameson.
So yeah, I know you're better at math than that. Son.
I know, but I don't even know what my name is right now.
Apparently,
It's been one of those days.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
it has.
I have them days every day.
3.0 is 187. Okay, that's what I was. So I said 287, but I really meant 187.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at him backpedaling. You know?
Yeah.
Good
That's
recovery.
like catching
Thanks,
big
old
fish.
school twist. You got my back.
Right? So, anyways, yeah. So it adds that much cubic inch to the engine. So the engine now thinks that instead of it being 350, now we're going to get your math cap back on. So 350 and 184 is what?
A lot.
Yeah, 500 something, right?
Yeah.
So your engine thinks it's 500 cubic inches, and that's why a supercharger is an awesome way to increase horsepower. And cubic inch is king, right?
Well, here's what I like about superchargers is you have the power from the very throttle hit, where a turbo,
It's pretty much instant. Yeah.
yeah, a turbo you have the lag. But I like turbos because turbos you can get actually more power out of the turbo.
They're more efficient.
Well, that too, but like because they can spin faster.
Well, it's basically you're not driving it with a belt, so
Right.
you don't have that drag, and you're using the exhaust, which is kind of, if you think about it, it's almost perpetuating. So the more air you move through it, the more exhaust comes out of the engine, the more pressure it puts on the turbo, the more boost it can make, or
Right.
the higher it can spin, provided the impeller and the housing and,
Right.
the in and out are all
The
you know,
AR
yeah,
rate-
all
yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So turbochargers are actually the ultimate way to build a lot of horsepower. Superchargers are just instant. So it's like having a big cubic inch engine, but when you're cruising down the highway, it's still 350.
Right.
DJ, the wine. It's always about the wine. Does it for him? Okay.
Well, my son, he likes that.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that.
When
That's
you're
why he
ready-
likes
it's ready to
turbos.
go.
Yeah. Well, whenever you let off the throttle, it goes.
Yep. Well, I like the.
Wow.
Yeah, the diesel trucks do that.
Well,
Yeah.
why does it sound like an airplane? Well, there's a reason.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a really good sound. I don't think they're supposed to sound that way.
Oh, it's
I
awesome.
think that's some kind of a restriction. It's kind of like when you fart and you pinch your butt cheeks.
I never made that noise. Mine just goes.
I've heard many more other noises than that. But.
Well, then my wife had to chime in. Yeah. Well, that's a Dodge thing with their with their turbo.
Well, yeah,
Sorry.
and not only that, Mandy, your turbocharger is like that big.
Right.
So,
It's like a little violin.
so
It's
it'll
something we
just go.
put on our golf carts at the camper.
Yeah, the noise that one makes, you don't hear it. Just goes.
I don't even think it does that.
I don't even know where it's at. It's so small. I looked for it. I'm like, where did they put this little turbo?
What are we talking about? Oh, the turbo. I'm glad
No.
you clarified.
I changed oil on it. And I'm like, she goes, is there even a turbo underneath there?
Looks like an EGR valve.
Yeah, right. He does.
No, it's still a Dodge. It's a Chrysler
Yeah.
thing. Sorry.
Yeah. I just went by Stellantis. I had to go to Indiana or over towards Indiana, and went by the Stellantis plant up there on Route 80. But anyways, so let's go back to why the our platform is better than the LS.
Yes.
So we got bigger bore.
Yep.
We already got the stroke.
Yep.
We got a stronger block.
Yep.
We got stronger fasteners.
Yep.
We still have
Got a better oiling system.
Yep. Well, the oiling system in the LS is better, but with that new engine block that we're doing, that our oiling system is going to get way better. And that's part of the secret that I'm not going to let out yet, but we are going to make the oiling system way better.
If you want that, just hit me up, Brandon Johnston, and pay me royalty.
Whatever. He knows better. So anyways, but we still only have 10 head bolts per cylinder head. And the LS has the same, okay? But the good thing about an LS...
Wait a second. We have 10 bolts?
Yeah, we got...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we do.
Yep, 10
Son
head
bitch.
bolts.
Well, LS, though, has more, though.
Nope, they got
On
10.
the bottom and top.
Only the LSXs.
Oh.
So I am going to make provisions for that on the new block to add more head bolts. But you don't really honestly need it. Pontiac, so okay, now we're going to go back to another strength thing that the Pontiac platform has over the LS. We use a 1/2-inch head bolt.
Yep.
And it's not a torque to yield. It's got a torque value. And the LS only has, I think, again, like a 12 millimeter.
Yeah.
It's not a very big head bolt. And it's a torque to yield, unless you put an ARP fastener. Now, if you do that, that's what we do. I mean, when we build an LS engine, we put an ARP fastener, and now we got torque spec that we go to instead of torque to yield. But anyway, the Pontiac engine has a bigger head bolt, and the deck on the block is probably more stout because it has more area. So we got more strength there. We have more strength in the bulkhead area. The LS blocks and B&R and Old School Twist, you guys probably know this, but whenever the LS engines first came out, they had a real bad problem with them. They were blowing the back of the block off.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And how they solved that was they ended up having to put windows in between the mains on the block, between the bulkheads for each cylinder, to allow air to travel through the engine so that it wouldn't create a lot of pressure in the back of the block. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot of benefits to the old. And think about it. In 1955, they did not give a shit about weight back then.
No.
That car could weigh 10,000 pounds.
Yep.
They didn't care. Today, they want this car to weigh 3,000 pounds, and then they're bitching. So, you know what? They were way stouter back then.
They just don't make them like they used to.
That's what you hear all the time. Us old-timers say that every day.
You know, the big cars, you get in those, you got the big plushy seats, you got the big steering wheel, you just sit there and you're just king of the road. Just,
Yeah, the Cadillacs. I like
Yeah,
them.
you
And
hit
the big Granville,
you
the
can hit-
Pontiac Granville.
you can hit the Grand Canyon and you're like, what was that?
Yeah, it's like a speed bump.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're just floating on air.
Yeah,
As
great.
a matter of fact, it's like you got a sofa too that you're sitting on,
Yeah.
and you're cruising 80 mile an hour
no,
sleeping.
no
you ever
wonder
seen Chevy
why.
Chase?
Yeah, no wonder why there were so many accidents back then. You get
What
so
are you
comfy.
talking about?
You get so comfy in there, you're just like, next thing you know, you're sleeping.
Olds 98, Jeannie said.
Yep.
Yep, that was one of them. Them things were plush, awesome cars to drive.
Hopefully, Jason. Oh, he left his mic. Smart man.
Oh yeah.
He didn't pull him on my dad.
Oh yeah. What? When I take him to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not in there pooping.
Well, that's true.
So anyhow, the engines are just way more stout than what an LS engine is.
Now is for the time being though, you guys are going to use the 350 cast iron blocks. Mm-hmm. And are those?
We're going to have a couple options. We can do the aftermarket block, but then the build gets real pricey because think about it. What's a supercharger's top end cost?
Oh, at least 10 grand.
It's around 8 to 10 grand. Yeah. So 8 to 10 grand. That doesn't include the fuel injection. It doesn't include the belt drive or none of that.
Fuel pump, all that stuff.
So now the fuel pump, that's on the customer anyway. But the thing of it is, you're talking for the top end and the belt drive, you're going to be looking at probably 10 to 12 grand. And so that's on top of the engine build. And the Ram Air 5 engine builds, they start about $25,000 to $26,000. So you do the math real quick. I'm going to make you think again.
I know. Now my head hurts. That's why I'm asking. So, because I really find this package attractive.
Oh, me too.
Because now you're getting 1,200 horse, but it's not like the 1,200 horse that, like what you had to deal with. You're adjusting valve springs all the time. You're constantly doing maintenance to the motor.
Right.
Now you get in, and
it's fuel injected.
It's
let's
be
low
honest,
RPM.
it's just fire it up and you drive it.
Yep. So the reliability is going to be better making 1,200 horsepower. There's no way around that. That is what's going to happen.
Thank you, DJ. I know my package is attractive.
What?
Too much information.
TMI. Yep.
But even with a 350 cast iron block, I think it will be better than an LS motor.
Oh, there ain't no doubt. 374 cubic inches or whatever we came up with. I don't remember what the
377.
And well, with the Pontiac engine, it's like 374. So it's similar, very similar.
Yeah.
So 374 cubic inches and 12 pounds of boost, and you can make 1,300 horsepower on 93 octane and drive the car from here to California and back. Hell yeah, give me that all day long. That is very attractive.
Turnkey, don't have to worry about pumping gas, pedal. You don't have to. It's just you get in, go.
Just go.
So this will obviously made up to a turbo 400, turbo 350.
Yep. All the traditional transmission.
And then you have
but
to
we're
get
getting
an
the
adapter.
new block will be adaptable to the new overdrive trains, the 4L80 or the I don't remember what that 6-speed is that they got now, but it'll be able to bolt up to the back of this block.
Gotcha. Yeah, because basically, I still have the adapter plate on mine for the 700 R4. That's almost the same bolt pattern.
Pretty close.
I think the two bolts on the corners are moved up.
Yeah, there's a couple different bolt locations, but that's no big deal.
No, even an adapter plate's not that big of a deal, guys. I mean, I ran an adapter plate on mine for
years.
Yeah,
still on there.
Yeah, still on there.
But yeah,
because honestly, they share the end bolts, right? On the block?
Well, the dowel pins are in the same location, okay, for all the engines. And then these down here, I think, are the same.
Yeah. And
But
then
other
the
than
top
that-
two
No, the top two are not.
for GM?
See, that's why you got bolts in there. That's the bolt into that, okay? And then the bolts.
Oh, no, well, not the top very two. I meant, like 11 and 2 o'clock.
Yeah, those are. This is the difference between a Chevy and a Pontiac, right there.
Oh, okay.
So,
But you still have two bolts going through the plate into the block.
right.
And, I mean, then the plate, if you get an 1/8-inch plate, I mean, that ain't going anywhere.
Yep, you're good. You're golden. Got quiet. Jason, say something.
No.
Gear Star.
I was seeing where you guys left off here, so.
I thought the outside Pontiac blocks were all the same measurement, just a different stroke and bore, or on it, or is that wrong? No, you're right, Frankie. As far as I know.
Yeah, the external dimensions of Pontiac engines, it doesn't matter if it's a 326 or a 455. The external dimensions are all the same. Now, there is an exception to that. There's the 301 Pontiac, which there was a 265 Pontiac also, which is basically a smaller version of the 301. Those are short deck engines. So they're externally different. And then, of course, the old Ram Air 5 engines back from the 60s and 70s that ran in Trans Am series, which were 366 cubes and what was the other one? 303. So you had 303 and 366 cubic engines back then, too, which were short decks.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but other than that, all Pontiac engines had the same external dimensions.
Now, did they do that with those motors? Try to get more performance out of them?
Well, I think that I don't know why the 301 and the 265. I think they did that to reduce weight. They did that for fuel economy, and actually, M301s get pretty good fuel economy. Grandpa had one at 80 Grand Prix, and I think it got like 25 or 26 mile a gallon.
Damn.
That's damn good for a carburetor.
Very good.
So, and then, of course, the 303s and the 366, they were trying to reduce the push rod length and connecting rod length, I think, in those engines so that they could spin them higher.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to be around a 8,000 RPM engine.
Right.
And be reliable out on the track.
Gotcha. Yeah, Gear Star, I do believe that's what the adapter plate is on the back of my motor, I think is a Gear Star.
No, it's a TCI.
Oh, it is a TCI? Okay.
Yep. But they're all the same.
I was going to say, the Gear Star looks very similar to that.
Yep, they're all the same.
But also, too, with these, if you're doing racing, they require you, and depends on what class you're in, to have that thicker aluminum bell housing anyways. So you're going to be cutting the front of the tranny off a lot of these anyway.
Well, yeah, like a Turbo 400, you can buy the JW. What he's talking about is the JW bell housing. And instead of having to run a blow shield or a flywheel guard on the outside of the factory bell housing, you can buy the JW, which is about I don't know, they're monsters.
Yeah,
them things are thick.
Yep.
And the whole reason for that is that in case the converter or flywheel explodes, it'll contain or try to contain most of the strap metal. But yeah, so there's a reason that you have to have a blow shield. There's a reason you got to have a guard on your transmission if you've got a factory bell housing. Those things come apart, and they do.
And please, guys, do not skip on the drive shaft safety loop. That is bad.
Why? How you know that?
I've seen people with track pogo stick.
I had a drive shaft safety loop on my. That's where I thought you were going.
No,
when I blew the drive shaft out of that 80 Grand Prix.
Oh no!
Yeah, that was not good. At about 130 mile an hour, drive shaft come out and it lifted the rear end off the ground. I'm surprised it didn't rip the rear end out of the car.
Yes, there still will be room for a factory AC.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way the supercharger sits on top of
Absolutely.
the motor is just slightly.
And we
Jason,
have
can you
that
hit the
option
camera again?
available. Actually, that is part of the package.
Can you hit the camera again, Jason, please? But the supercharger is just slightly bigger than the intake.
Yeah. Yep. So the AC compressor can go in the stock. Well, not stock location, but very close to the stock location.
Yep.
So yeah, that is part of the package. Well, I tell you what, Jeannie's on fire tonight.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah!
I was gonna say I can't keep up. That's why I'm laughing. I'm trying to read. I'm like, slow down. It's like the grocery list.
Yeah. Right. What is that? What's going on there?
He's talking about the gear star, how
okay.
they'll make it bolt all up
Yeah,
and whatnot.
got it.
And it's
Well, Jeannie's pretty smart. You know what? I thought Phil was smart, but man, Jeannie's really smart.
Right now we know. Now we really know who was talking on Phil the Third.
we
Yeah.
know, yeah. Apparently, Phil's full of shit.
Yep.
I had one job tonight. I know.
And he's
But
doing great,
it's so
Mandy.
much. It sounds like there's too many wife comments.
Oh, you gotta go home.
Jason, you're gonna need some
No,
more of
no.
this because you're gonna be sleeping outside.
Phil the Third's like confusing me. Come on, this is like personality change.
He has several aliases.
Yep. He's a man of mystery.
Oh yeah.
And then like his spell check, it's like now you're confusing the hell out of
If
me.
I only had a brain.
Well, it's 7:00. You want to talk about the supercharger engine anymore? Is there any more points you need to add?
I don't think so. I think I just want to get the guys excited because I want to start selling these things and I want to start taking orders here. We'll be ready here really, really soon. And like I said, we're limited on cylinder heads right now. So if you guys want one of these things, then I wouldn't wait. It's because last time it took me 2 years to get castings, and I hope it don't take that long again. I mean, that was an unusual thing. We went through a lot of people being sick, and I don't know what all. I mean, it was just terrible.
Well, hopefully we won't get that, man. COVID.
Yeah, let's hope. So. Well, COVID's still going around, but now it's not so scary, and everybody realizes it's just a real bad flu bug, and we can survive it. But yeah, so anyways, if you guys are interested in one of those, please reach out to me, and I will get you on the list. Right now, I'm probably not going to take any money. I'm going to just put a list together. But once we get to the point where we have the tooling all made up and we got the intake runners, then it's game on, man. You guys better be ready. Get your pocketbooks out.
Walt wants to know about your Rammer 3 or Rammer 4 heads, your new cylinder heads.
Well, those are coming, and again, it's because of the COVID situation and this flu that just went around, which I'm not 100% sure that wasn't part of COVID anyway. But anyway, we're not going there. I ain't got to talk politics. The machine shop, the CNC shop that's doing my new cylinder heads for me, they've been way behind schedule because they're about a 15-man shop, and roughly 2/3 of the guys were out sick with that damn flu that was going around, kicking everybody's ass. And then after that, a couple of the fellas had some deaths in the family, so they're so far behind schedule. They're like everybody else right now. Not enough help and not enough hours in a day. And but they are working on it. They got my Rammer 5 heads done. Thank you. And now they're working on the new prototype heads. And once I get those machined and we get make sure that there's not any problems with the fixturing and any bolt holes that go into water and all that kind of crap that I got to check whenever we get done doing this part of the R&D. The next part is I got some things I want to change on the tooling. And I don't know if Deke is watching tonight. He's my tooling guy. I'm hoping that they can turn that around pretty quickly. We got to get it sent from the foundry up to the tooling maker and get them to make the modifications of the tooling that we need done. Then it's got to get sent back to the foundry, and then I got to get on the foundry's
Waiting list
and get that going. So it's a long procedure, guys. I get it. Nobody wants this to happen faster than I do, trust me. It's just that, you know what? It takes what it takes, and if you want it done right, we got to do it the right way. We can't miss those steps. And right now, we're at that point where it's like watching paint dry, I know, but the thing of it is, I want to make sure when I release these heads, I don't have any issues. So that's where we are.
Can you repeat all that?
Who said that?
Old school twist.
No. No, rewind and watch it on your own. Right. I love you, man.
Also, there's going to be some pretty kick-ass intakes going to be coming out for those heads too, that we're going to be working on.
You guys are going to love the intake manifold I'm doing for these heads.
And there's going to be multiple even after that. I mean,
well, my son and I are going to be working on a lot of different intake manifolds. Again, we're bringing this platform. We're not going to call it Pontiac anymore. We're calling it the DCI Motorsports platform. We're going to bring it into the future. That's what we're doing.
Was that Philip III?
Yes. Philip, what are you doing, man?
He's trying to be part of the podcast.
He wants to be on camera too.
Right.
All right, Philip, I'll send you a Zoom link next week.
I'm going to be the guest speaker.
Holy moly. No, that was somebody else as a customer. So, but yeah, so hey guys, you know what? We could get long-winded and talk bullshit all night, but thank you for all showing up. That's awesome.
Yep.
You know,
it was at 54 at the highest tonight, so that's awesome. Very good.
Yep. We're getting pretty consistent in that 50 to 60 range right now. We really need to get that up to around 100 to 150. That's where I'd like to get next. So
Yep.
Please share with everybody. Tell your friends, you know. And yeah, we're probably boring. I don't know. You know, Brandon, my son said that he was going to spice things up. And
All right.
It will.
Be careful.
I think
Be
it's gotta get
careful
warmer.
what
I
you
think
wish
we
for.
need to get out there and start opening
so
up doors.
he needs to be able
I
to,
really want.
so he needs to get warm enough temperature to take his shirt off while you're
Oh,
telling me.
Next week, I'll be in a Speedo.
the colder it is, the better, right? Is that what they said?
Yeah, the only problem is shrinkage, you know.
Well, I've always been a grower, not a shower, so.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming tonight. We appreciate your patronage, and we are going to be back again next Wednesday, God willing. We got a lot of stuff going on this month. I got 2 engines. I got a dyno this month. One of them's for that Two Guys Garage. We're doing an engine for that, and then we got another engine we're doing for Joe Bass. I don't see Joe on tonight.
He hasn't commented anyway.
We're going to be doing Joe Bass's 535 Ram Air 5
Which
engine.
this is the what's the word I'm looking for? This is the motor after the carnage that happened with his balancer.
Yeah, the one that welded the harmonic balancer to the end of the crankshaft, that's the engine.
Yep.
And we're finally getting that thing to completion. We're going to get that thing on the dyno and see what we can do with it. My buddy Jude Schnabel is going to help us with that. He's going to dyno the engine. Jude's is in New Jersey. You didn't burn all your vacation days, did you?
Nope.
Good, because I need you to go with me on that. We're going to be filming that. So we're going to have to take a couple days. It's going to be a 2-day trip. We'll get a hotel room, and then we're going to spend the night. So, all right. And it could be a Friday, Saturday thing. I don't know. I don't know what Jude wants to do or what Joe wants to do. But anyhow, we're going to be dynoing that engine. We got the one for Two Guys Garage. We're trying to get a 71 Challenger, a different 71 Challenger, not the one we originally were going to take to the show. Another one we did about 15 years ago. A good customer of mine, John Hollendonder, we're going to get his car ready, and we're going to go to the IX Piston Power Show with that car. And we just repainted that thing, and we got to clean up under the hood and detail that car, change the glass in it, polish the chrome, take the wheels off, redo the brakes. We got a lot of work to do. So we're busy, and at the shop, all I have is me, Brandon, my helper, not Brandon, my son, Brandon, my helper. And I got another kid, part-time, Damien, that's helping me out. And I got DJ helping me out. That's all we got, you know. And so we got a lot going on, and we don't have enough help. So we're going to be working lots and lots of hours. And I was just telling my son today, you know what? I'm going to be 64 this year. Can you believe that? 64 freaking years old. And most 64-year-old guys that I know, they are sitting on the couch eating potato chips, drinking beer, and watching TV. I'm not doing that.
No, he's sitting on a chair on Facebook.
Yeah, drinking Jameson.
Drinking Jameson.
So I appreciate you guys. I really do. You know what? We love you guys. I'm glad that you show up every week. It's the only reason we keep doing this. Otherwise, you know what? I tell my son to do it.
Yeah, and he would.
But it's fun. I enjoy this. This is part of my job that I get to have fun at and relax and not have to worry about deadlines.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. I think
right.
we're out.
Yep.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.